Hello, welcome back. Today I am going to be doing my December reading wrap up. It's actually mid-December right now, it's actually the 15th of December, but I realised last night I'm not going to have time to do this in the following weeks and fully edit it and get it up for the start of January. So yeah, I'm doing it now and then I'll probably hop back in at the end of December and just tell you the few other books I've read, because I'm sure there'll be a couple more, but I can't imagine there'll be too many more. And I'm also going to do my January TBR. The first book I read in December was Crown of Midnight. Obviously this is the, or in my opinion, third book that you should read in the Throne of Glass series. You can either read Assassin's Blade first or like third or fourth. I read it first, so this is the third book I read. I will never get over these covers. They're just incredible. Every single one of them is just incredible, and I don't know who the artist is, but whoever it is deserves a pay rise, because wow. Crown of Midnight, it was kind of just like a follow-on from Throne of Glass, really kind of like finishing that section up, and then we move into a whole, not a whole different storyline, but I think the major storyline of the entire series in the next book. So this kind of felt like just the finishing of the first one. So I kind of not slummed through, but I wasn't like eager to read the first half of it. I kind of just, you know, read it as and when, enjoyed it for what it was, but I wasn't obsessed about reading it. And then the last 150 pages of this, wow, I absolutely shot through those in a night. The ending was so good. A little bit of romance in this. I feel like I've fully formed my romance opinions on Throne of Glass, and the romance is definitely a subplot. It's hard to get attached to a romance. I am very attached to the romance that I'm reading right now in Throne of Glass, but it is hard to get attached, and I won't tell you why, but just so you know, if that's what you're going in, if you're going into it being like, oh, I want a romantasy, like, oh, ACOTAR 2.0, no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. But yeah, super good. I think I rated it either a 4.25 or a 4.5. I feel like maybe a 4.5 just because I loved the ending so much. The next book I read is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've been wanting to read this for, well, since I started hearing about it, to be honest, because Criminal Minds is one of my absolute favourite TV shows. I restart it probably once a year, get to like season 6 and then forget. I don't think I've ever made it past season 8, just because every time I rewatch it I want to start from the beginning because I love it so much. So yeah, I need to make it my mission to actually get through the whole thing. I don't want to talk too loud because they could be just outside, but what I've done for Christmas and birthdays for my mum for the last like year or two is I will like read and fully, you can kind of see, read and fully annotate a book with like my little comedic thoughts, because I'm so funny. And this year I did them for my sister and my dad as well. I haven't finished yet, but yeah, so this one's for my little sister, and I absolutely loved it. 4.5, can't wait to read the rest. I read it all in one night. I just sat in my bed, stayed up till like 2 a.m, read it. So good. I would more than recommend this to anyone. The next book I read was, of course, I had to get back into the ACOTAR. I keep saying ACOTAR. I had to get back into Throne of Glass. I feel like I was reading this along with reading all the others. Like, it's not a perfect one after one after one. I usually had a like ACOTAR book go. ACOTAR. I usually had a Throne of Glass book going, and then I was reading the others kind of like along with it, you know, because I had to for Christmas presents. But yeah, Air of Fire, my favourite so far. You'll see in a minute. But yeah, my favourite so far. And this one we meet lots. We meet some new characters who I just obsessed with. We get a new setting, which is just incredible. I feel like this book really stopped the series from getting a bit stale and like repetitive, because if we'd stayed in the same setting for another book, what more can we really do there? We need to move on. So I absolutely loved this book. Again, the start of it took me a little bit longer to get back into, but by like 150 pages I was completely in. Definitely like a 4.5. So good, loved it. Love this series so far. The next book is The Storied Life of AJ Thickeray. I annotated this one for my mum. This is like a general fiction-y kind of book. and it's kind of emotional, and it's kind of just like a look into section of a person's life over the years, like little glimpses. And it's about a man who owns a bookstore, and he was recently widowed. His wife passed away, and he finds a baby in his bookstore and is like, what the fuck, there's a baby here. And then the baby just immediately becomes really attached to him, and he decides to adopt her, foster her, whatever the case is. Yeah, and it's like the story of his life growing up with this baby Maya, and it was really sweet. I just am not like a general fiction girly, to be honest, so I wasn't like excited to read it, but when I read it, it was very enjoyable, and definitely very like, it's one of those books that makes you think. The thing about these books which I sometimes struggle with, but I actually quite enjoyed in this, is you see just normal people, like good, bad, ugly. They're not necessarily good, they're not necessarily bad, they're just people, and they're flawed, and some are flawed more than others, some are less flawed, and good people do things that you can't understand, and all those sorts of things. I really quite enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who hasn't read it. It's Gabrielle Zevin, and she wrote Tomorrow, Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which was really popular this year. I haven't read that, but after reading this, I think I might pick that up, and I gave this like a 4-star. Because it didn't feel right to rate any less than that, so yeah. Next is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood again. I am #1 Ali Hazelwood stan, as I've said in every video that I've ever done. Especially in the last 3 I filmed, I've just had a whole 20-second monologue about how much I love Ali Hazelwood, but I really do. And I haven't read Check and Mate yet because I've been reading Throne of Glass, but this felt like the perfect opportunity, knock off a Christmas present and get to read one of my favourite authors. So I've read this again in like a night at the Naturals. So Sienna, you're getting good book picks as far as I'm concerned. If you don't enjoy these, then something's wrong with you, not me. So good. I was a little bit concerned about this one just because of how much I love Ali's other books. And this is a YA, which I think is her first YA romance. But I loved it. I've really loved it. It's basically about a girl who, when she was younger, she played chess and she was kind of like a prodigy. And then for circumstances that we find out as we go, she quit chess and she takes care of her whole family basically. Because her mum's got an illness and she's got like younger sisters that she needs to look after. And she ends up entering into this charity chess match because her friend basically begs her to. And she's like, okay, I'll do it for you. And she beats Nolan Sawyer, who is like the best chess player in the world. I'm pretty sure he's #1 chess player in the world. And everyone's like, who is this girl that just beat Nolan Sawyer? I loved it. I loved all the chess in it. I thought it was really fun. It makes me want to play chess. That's what I love about Ali's books. I love the inclusion of like science and chess and all of these little things which are kind of like nerdy and silly, but it's like fun. I just love it. Maybe I'm nerdy and silly. So I love this. It was so cute and sweet. This was very cute and sweet. I have heard people say that they're like, that's not YA, like there's too much mention of like sex and stuff. I'm pretty sure there's not a smut scene. No, there's not. There's like a little bit of like, maybe we could be going into one, but we don't. And the main character talks about having sex a decent amount. Like, to be honest, a lot. Sometimes I was like, whoa, why are we mentioning sex right now, you random girl? But I'm pretty sure they were internal thoughts usually. And I reject the idea that an 18-year-old girl can't enjoy sex. And yeah, maybe that's just me. 18 is, well, no, who am I to judge? She can have sex if she wants to have sex. So I don't know. I get what people are saying, but YA is what, like 12 to 18? So do 12-year-olds not know that sex exists? I'm sorry, am I like living in a delusion world where 12-year-olds don't? Like, there's not like the guys, it's fine. Sorry. I'm gonna have to cut that because that's crazy. That's crazy to say. I don't want to cut it though. Oh, damn it. Okay. The final book that I'm going to talk about right now, probably cut to some more, is Queen of Shadows. I don't have the dust jacket on because I'm reading it. As you can see, I'm like 150 pages away from being done. And holy fucking shit, this is a good book. Oh, it's so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 5 stars unless something goes terribly, terribly wrong. Oh, Checkmate was 4.5. Where do I even begin? This book has made me cry with frustration and like rage crying of just like the injustice. I'm gonna kill you. That's how I felt. And I've also felt giggly and like, oh, look at this, what's going on here? And also felt like, whoa, there's so much action. Those have been my feelings. And I love it. I love it. I love it. One thing that Throne of Glass has really made me feel, and I've already said this a million times if you've seen any of my other recent videos, it's made me want to read ACOTAR so bad, because as much as I love this series, ACOTAR, the time period of it, I just love that. It's like very old, which I just love. Like we're back in like the olden days, and even though this is olden days, it's more like industrial age, you know? And I like it when it's like we're living in huts. Well, they weren't living in huts, they had homes, but I don't know, to be honest, I feel like the time periods of them are all out of whack and I don't really get them, but I enjoy it. Hello, it's me from the future. Not really, but kind of. It's actually still me from the past, but just a little bit further along in the past. But I'm here to finish off the list of... What am I doing? Books I read in December. Okay. What's the last book I said? Oh, I don't even know. Just finished Queen of Shadows. Okay, I finished Queen of Shadows. Amazing, rated 5 star. Next, I read The Last Word. I forget who the author is. It's like a 4 star. It was a pretty good thriller. I'm not really a thriller girl, but as far as thrillers go, that was pretty good. It's the one that's about the author who... No, it's the one that's about the person who reads a bad book, leaves a bad review, and then the author stalks them or whatever. Okay, and then I read The Second Sight of Zachary Cloudlessly. It's by someone called Sean, I think. I gave that like a 3.5. It was okay, not really my kind of thing. It was like a bit more of... It was kind of fantasy, but more kind of like general fiction. I don't know, historical... Yeah, it was definitely historical leaning. I don't know. A guy called... I forget his name. But he had a son called Zachary who had these weird mystical powers to like see the future, I guess. I don't know, it was weird. It was pretty good though, you could read it. I listened on audiobook Loaf to Love You by Ali Hazelwood, which was very exciting because that's a bunch of like novellas and I never thought I'd get around to it. And I read it like 4, it was pretty good, but how good can little novellas really be? But I definitely enjoyed listening to it more than I would have enjoyed reading it, so I would recommend that. Then I read Kiss of the Selkie. Oh, I actually have that with me. I gave this like a 3 or a 3.5. This is the 3rd book in the Entangled with Fae, like interconnected standalones that Sandra Odette does. They're all fantasy retellings, and this is The Little Mermaid. It's pretty good. It was definitely an interesting take on retelling. She's basically this girl, Maisie, who's like Ariel, a princess, but she has to run away because she's trying to get away from the evil lady, I don't know, and she becomes like a pickpocket, basically just a klepto, and then she saves a guy from drowning, and then she has to kill him because she has to, I forget why. I'm explaining this so good. She has to kill him, so she joins the pageant, like bridal pageant thing that the church... This sounds insane, me putting words on that, it sounds insane. It wasn't that insane. The church he's part of is hosting a bridal pageant for him to find a wife, and she enters that and she has to try and kill him. It's pretty good. Then I listened to actually The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I've been meaning to read this for ages and I really enjoyed it. It's basically about this girl called Kala who goes to Alaska to kind of get to know her estranged father because he has got cancer, and she meets a grumpy pilot. That's what it all is all about. They love flying planes. I think I gave like a 4 star, it was pretty good. I read Wild at Heart, which was this... Well, I didn't read, I listened to Wild at Heart, which is the next one after Simple Wild. Equally as good, 4 star, pretty much just the continuation of that story. And then I listened to the novella that goes after that, Forever Wild. Again, gave that like a 4-star continuation of the story. And then the final book that I actually listened to, I didn't read it, and I finished it like today, like an hour ago, was Finale by Stephanie Garber. That is an accomplishment. I feel very, very proud of myself, the fact that I read Kiss of the Selkie, The Simple Wild and Finale all before 2024 started, because I did not think I would. So I'm very happy about that. And it was like a 3-star. It was fine, but it wasn't that good. To be honest, I could really rant about that book, specifically Teller. I'm not going to get into it, but she's just the most infuriating person in the world to me. Like, I don't know how you could read that series and not just want to rip your hair out reading about her, because I'm like, babe, every single thing bad that happens to you is your fault, and you blame everybody else, or not. You don't really blame anything. You just, I don't even know what goes on in her head. She's so stupid and naive sometimes. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? Maybe I'm being harsh, or maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm right. Enough of that. Go back to Past Me. I felt like she was a lot more upbeat than this me. This me's tired. Bye, girl. Hi, girl. How you doing? Better than me, I'm sure. Ugh. Now that we're done with that, hope you enjoyed Past Me, whatever she had to say. Hey, girl. I like to keep my TBR relatively small because I usually don't stick to it at all. And that makes me feel really bad about myself. So I try and keep it small, and I try and keep it like really true to what I actually want to read, rather than like putting things on it that I think I should read. Like, oh yeah, I should probably get that book off my thing because I've not read it in ages. I'm not going to because I don't want to. So we're being honest with ourselves this year. First book is Never by Jessa Hastings, an obvious one. New release, just come out. It's already come out. I'm gonna wait until hopefully I get it for Christmas. Hopefully I get it for Christmas. Excited about it because I absolutely love Jessa's writing so much. I love it. I love the lyricalness of it, and then it's also very engaging. It's not too like, okay, wow, I'm just sat here reading basically a 500-page poetry book. Like, well, that's not my thing, sorry. No, it's lyrical with a good mix of like drama and intrigue and fun, and it's just perfect. So I'm very excited to see what she does with a retelling, because another thing I love, fancy retellings. Ho ho ho. Ho ho ho. I don't know why I said that. If you want me to read a book, tell me it's fantasy retelling. I don't know why, I just love them. Makes me feel like I'm in fucking Beauty and the Beast. Because maybe I am. It could be a Beauty and the Beast retelling, you don't know. Next book on my TBR is Ruthless Vows. Haven't pre-ordered, but I will be getting that book and I will be reading it. Yes, I will. Divine Rivals was an incredible read. I gave that a 4.75, but I think that was also to do with the fact that I just wasn't in a good mood when I read it, or I was just in a weird mood. I don't know what was going on, but I could feel myself not fully engaging towards the end, and that was my fault. That was not the book's fault. So I feel like it's a 5-star book, and I just dubbed it. So I'm super excited for Ruthless Vows, although I am slightly concerned. I don't know where it's going, and that the best part of the story has already happened. Do you know what I mean? Development of their relationship has already happened, and that's the best part. So I don't know, but I'm excited about it. The next book is Kingdom of Ash, because I'm pretty certain I'm not going to complete the Throne of Glass series in December, and I'm not going to force myself to, or try to really, because that is like too many books. That's like over 2,000 pages. I'm not doing that to myself. So yeah, Kingdom of Ash, gonna read that in January. Very excited for the ending of the book, ending of the series. I'm a little bit scared though, because people say it's really emotional and really sad, and there's just like whoa, 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 hits and hits and hits of emotion, and I just don't know if I can handle that. Other book that I want to read, Magnolia Parks, Long Way Home. I believe Jessa gave a date announcement today. I didn't fully read it, but I saw February, and it was about BJ and Magnolia, so I'm assuming the next Magnolia Parks comes out in February. I need to wrap this up. I need to get there. I need to get over the fear and just read it. Brilliant. Other book, next book, Killer Instinct. The next book in the Jennifer Lynn Barnes, The Naturals series. I want to read that because I love the first one. I want to read the next one. And then the final book is Imagine Me by Tahera Mafi, because I've been putting off finishing Shatter Me for so long. I just need it to be finished and done. The book won't even take that long because the words are literally like size fucking 100 font. So I just haven't wanted to, but I'm going to in January. So that is it. That's gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah. Happy New Year.